Welcome, Chairwoman Yellen, and also I want to thank the Chairman and Ranking Member of our committee. Last time we were together in this committee hearing, I think I raised the issue of Somali remittances, and at that time I think I pointed out that as banks drop out of this business space, it's going to create a whole lot more pressure. I think on February 6th or right around there, the last big bank that facilitates these remittances dropped out, and then an Illinois bank dropped out. I don't know if we had. At this point, I am told that there are no money service businesses providing remittances to Somalia. This is important for a lot of reasons. One is that people in my district rely on that, and they send their hard-earned monies to their loved ones, and I believe this helps to stabilize Somalia as a country. They send way more remittances than we do foreign aid over there. And when you and it's already a fragile state. It does have a government. It's not a failed state anymore, but it's a fragile one. And if we pull that rug out, I fear for national security issues. We just heard threats by al-Shabaab to our homeland, which is something that I'm very, very much concerned about. And as we destabilize that country, I think it's bigger than just the humanitarian needs of the individuals. We're now dealing with a real serious problem. So what can be done?
Congressman, I agree with you. It is a very serious problem, and it's causing a great deal of hardship. And we're meeting with interested congressmen, including yourself, and with other banking agencies, the controller of the currency, and the Treasury, to see what we can do to try to address this problem. It's a difficult problem to deal with because BSA/AML rules impose heavy sanctions, and banks have been penalized for violating those rules. So many of them are really very reluctant to want to take risks in their dealings when they may bring them in violation of those rules. And as banking supervisors, we can't insist or force them to do that. And so I think we need to have broad-based discussions, and conceivably it's something that Congress needs to look at also, the way in which BSA/AML is.
Forgive me for interrupting, Chairwoman Yellen, but I would just like to point out that last time this Congress, which has been kind of known for its polarization, actually came together and passed legislation to try to reduce the regulatory burden and expense associated with compliance. I think we can do it again, but it would be nice if we could get some indication where exactly legislating would make a difference. As I understand it, there are some banks or some regulators who believe that in Somalia, you not only have to know your customer, you got to know your customer's customer. That's not the law. And I think clear guidance on this point would be important, and I think the Fed would be able to offer some good guidance to help banks understand what really is their obligation to know your customer. How far does it go? Is that something you think could happen?
Well, I think we can certainly sit down and go over all of this with you and other interested members and try to see where there is some scope to do something constructive to address this problem.
Now, what about the Federal Reserve FedWire? Could that be used to provide wire transfers to Dubai?
Well,
I don't want to put you on the spot now, but I just want to introduce the idea. Maybe you and your staff could go back.
It's something that's only open to depository institutions, that individuals don't deal with those systems.
Right, but my point is we have a state where we have an active terrorist organization that's threatening us. We have a state that's fragile and has come out of 2 decades of civil war, and we have a humanitarian crisis. I mean, it seems to me if there's an occasion to try to get creative, this would be it. I'm just coming up with some ideas here. What about third-party verification? There are some non-governmental organizations on the ground in Somalia who might be able to verify the identity of the recipients of the remittances. Could a group like that be utilized?
So I can't give you definitive answers to these, but we certainly can sit down and talk about each of your suggestions in detail and try to work through them with you. And I believe the State Department will be involved in these discussions as well.
Time of the gentleman has expired. The Chair now recognizes